When you describe my game,
You'll need words like,
woo! You need words like, ah! Ooh. You'll need words like, ah!
dang,
My name's Paul. Fifth.
Carmelo,
I create.
I create.
Adjectives.
NBA Live 2004 with freestyle. Rated E for everyone.
I create with freestyle.
Freestyle.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Come on and jam if you want to jam. We're not talking about Space Jam, but grab your Dunkaroos and your Air Jordans because it's got to be the shoes when you're talking about some great dunkers and not your Nike dunks.
He's heating up.
Boom shakalaka.
Helicopter. That was always my favorite. Helicopter.
Oh, I was always the big boom shakalaka.
Oh yeah, that's classic. That's classic. But you got that a lot. It was hard to get the helicopter.
We got to do a nostalgia funhouse NBA Jam episode.
Oh, that's one of my all-time favorite video games, so I'm all for that.
Just talk about which teams we love the best or which teams
Yeah.
we hate the best. But today we're talking about Dipsy Doos, Dunkaroos, trying to do my Dick Vitale impersonation there. I'm surprised he hasn't been on the panel discussion, but here we are doing a Dunkers tournament.
That's right. We took how many slam dunkaroos do we got here?
32.
We have 32 slam dunkers, guys known for throwing down the 5 slamma in the game of NBA basketball. And we're doing a tournament to decide, to crown the champion of the slam dunk. Who's it going to be? Let's find out.
Let's go. So just dive right into it. Match
let's
number 1.
Let's run down the lane and jump from the free throw line because we got Michael Jordan taking on the recently retired Blake Griffin. This to me is a banger right off the bat.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Obviously, Jordan slam dunk champion. Obviously, Blake Griffin slam dunk champion. But when I'm thinking dunkers, I'm thinking in game. That's what I'm looking at when it comes to slam dunkers, right?
Yeah.
And even that, both these guys are insane.
I put some guys I remember from the slam dunk competition though.
Oh, I did too. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying it's even more impressive to me if you do something wild in game.
You're probably gonna think Blake then. Well, no, Jordan had his amazing. I think Jordan.
This is tough because I've seen Blake throw down some dunks at that time I'd never ever seen before.
That is true.
And
he was Lob City.
Yes, he was the reason Lob City even existed, was Blake. So this was tough for me. I think this is way more even than people may think. I mean, Jordan is obviously our GOAT.
Yes.
And so he's going to get a lot of love from us from that aspect. But this is purely for the slam dunk, the dunk ability of their game. That's why this one's tough, man.
And Jordan would have made that shot at the end of the Nuggets game. Not to talk smack, but
they both have some pretty awesome poster dunks on people. I'll say that.
Yeah.
That's why this one's tough. I'm okay with either one going on here because I think this is such an even.
I like Jordan better though.
I mean, just as a player, I like Jordan better. But I mean, he's my GOAT, so I'm going to say that.
That's where I'm at too. Is I remember much more about Jordan.
I bet. I bet just from a height, like I bet Blake jumped higher.
Yeah,
and it was a more powerful type of dunker for sure. Jordan had a lot more finesse and athleticism to his dunks. So I think it's just whatever your taste is here. But I'm totally fine with Jordan moving on.
I'm go. Yeah,
Let's go. Let's let the GOAT go on. And by the way, I don't hate LeBron, but Jordan's the GOAT.
Next
Oh,
up,
here we go. Here we go.
Zach Levine.
No, that's Aaron Gordon, right?
Sorry. Aaron Gordon
Yeah.
and Cedric Sabalas.
Zach
I was
Levine's
happy
never
to
been.
put Cedric Sabalas into something.
That's a name that doesn't get a lot of love. We've got to put some respect on Cedric Sabalas' name.
Hell yeah, 100%. Because when the Lakers were dying and Magic was gone and nobody was there, who was there to pick up the pieces? Who was the Lakers star? It was Cedric Sabalas.
Eddie Jones?
I think Cedric was there before Eddie Jones.
He was. Eddie didn't get there to like 93, 94, if I'm thinking right.
Cedric Sabalas was there to pick up the pieces.
Doing what he could. And I still remember, didn't he? When he wanted to try to dunk with 2 basketballs?
Yeah, and he did that really. As a kid, I thought it was amazing, but then it was like, it was really crappy blindfolded dunk.
Yeah.
I think all he did was pretty much hold his arm over his eyes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
This one though,
I think Gordon moves on.
I think Gordon moves on too.
Yeah, I mean Gordon kind of, for a brief period there, him and Levine sort of brought back the dunk contest for it's probably its last gasping breath of being relevant. So,
I just wanted to put Cedric Sabalas in the.
I'm with you, man. I like Cedric. He ain't gonna get no complaints out of me. But Aaron Gordon's moving on.
Yeah. D Rose versus Clyde. I think this is no like pun or funny stuff intended. This is slam dunk. It's Clyde.
Yeah, it's Clyde the Glide. D Rose, sadly, his injury took everything away from him when it comes to this. So, I mean, the youngest MVP ever was D Rose. I think people will sleep on early D Rose just because, again, most of his career he was injured. But before that, MVP D Rose was a monster going down that lane.
I would say him, Penny, Grant Hill. Those are some big what ifs.
Oh yeah. We got to do a thing one time where we go back and we get to pick one player and we fix their injury. We take their injury out of their career and see what happens. I'm with you. Clyde the Glide classic moves on there.
I get so much pushback for my love of Grant Hill, saying that he was something. I forgot who. I get pushback. It's a younger crowd. Didn't get to see Prime Grant. Like saying that he probably is up there or better than Kyrie. Then in some cases with just his overall play, just how good
as an overall player, I would argue that Grant Hill was one of the when he was coming out of college, he was like touted as one of the first do everything type of player.
But nobody wants to hear that. Those 20-somethings don't want to hear that.
But here we got Josh Smith taking on Jay Rich.
Josh Smith was just on a list.
He can throw it down, but I'm a Jay Rich guy here all the way.
I'm Jason Richardson too, even though I've heard some horrible stuff about him.
I do that. Good God, what are you doing to me?
I didn't do it. I just click fill in empty spots. We got
we put this on random.
You don't like this, do you?
No, I hate this. Already one of the best dunkers is going to go home first round. Because we got
had Blake Griffin go.
Yeah. I mean, right here we got the human, like you were saying, the human highlight film himself, Dominique Wilkins, taking on one of the most dominating centers the most dominating center in the 90s for sure, Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh.
I'll tell you what, though. For as much as I love Shaq, and I do love Shaq,
I gotta go with Neek.
I'm going Neek. I encourage you, if you've never watched highlight reels of Neek, to look them up because he has some in-game dunks that just didn't make sense.
No. I remember way back in the day, I was like a latchkey YMCA kid. So I used to go there after school and somebody brought in like this highlight tape. And I remember being kind of, I wouldn't say made fun of, but like I got to watch like Dominique Wilkins dunk, Clyde, and Michael Jordan. And I'm a big Larry Bird guy. And guess what Larry Bird didn't do a whole lot of? Dunks. So I got to watch a whole bunch of layups.
Almost wanted to throw this in as a troll, just to let people behind the scenes. We both kind of came up with some dunkers off the top of our head to put in this tournament. And I almost wanted to put the Joker on there just to be funny. He did just throw it down technically in LeBron's face over the playoffs. But
when I was talking about this tournament at work, I got some backlash because of the people. Well, because it's dealing with 20 somethings. But
this is all time. This isn't current.
Yeah. And I was like, I put in Larry Bird and they shot me a look. I was like, I didn't put in Larry Bird. I know.
Oh, man.
All right. We got Desmond Mason going up against the Rain Man, Sean Kemp.
All right. Now, just to give some quick flowers to Mason, underrated dunker. I think he doesn't get the love he deserves. The guy could get up there.
Yeah.
But sadly for him, he's going up against the Rain Man, who will move on for me 100% in this. I don't think I'll get any backlash on that.
No.
Again, another guy who you got to look up these dunks he would do. That one time where he threw it down and he just kept pointing at the guy laying on the ground. I mean, that's iconic dunk for me.
I love Sean Kemp.
And Sean Kemp loves the ladies.
Oh, yeah. And the alcohol, but he got past that, I think.
Yeah.
So that's what I threw in there just to be an idiot. Do you know who that man is in that Heat uniform?
Yeah, it's Baby Jordan, right?
Yeah, yep. It's Harold Miner.
Yeah.
Put him against T-Mac. We know who's going on.
Yeah, T-Mac goes on. Poor Harold Miner, who, again, could really dunk it. I mean, he literally won the dunk contest, but.
Oh, this is going to be a great matchup here. Great matchup of nicknames, too.
Oh, man.
David Skywalker Thompson, because I got pushback for this one from the 20-somethings, and I said, the man could dunk, and how do you not put somebody in a dunk contest with the name Skywalker?
Yeah.
Against Chocolate Thunder himself, Daryl Dawkins. Now,
yeah. Dawkins would literally name his dunks.
Yeah.
Which was so cool.
I think this is another one of those finesse over power.
Yeah.
Like finesse
yeah, for sure.
type deals. I really like Daryl Dawkins, though.
That's who I was leaning, by being honest.
It probably hurts me as a Star Wars fan not to go with the man named Skywalker. But
yeah.
Daryl Dawkins, you're moving on.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Jordan versus Aaron Gordon. And when did Aaron Gordon start shooting threes?
When he started playing with the Joker, I guess. No, he shot him in Orlando a little bit.
But yeah, but he's a little bit more spread out now.
Yeah, he's got a little bit more room to operate.
I would say Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, again, when we do this, we're not taking these are all amazing dunkers, except for maybe a couple trolls we might have thrown in here. But yeah, Jordan's moving on.
Harold Miner.
Harold Miner can still dunk, in fairness to him. This is a great matchup.
It is a great matchup between Clyde and Jay Richardson, but
Clyde Drexler literally had my favorite dunk that only he could do in those early EA basketball games. When they do like the Blazers versus games.
Yeah.
Because he would almost take off from the free throw line and he would do that. The dunk that's here. I think this is the dunk right here. So he's moving on for me. He's iconic. He's literally an iconic slam dunker in my eyes.
Oh man, this is gonna be a hard one too.
Oh my God.
Versus Sean Kemp.
I'm gonna be totally honest. If I was making this tournament, this would be my final.
Yeah.
So this is destroying me. I don't know. These are probably my two favorite all-time slam dunkers.
This is power and definitely power.
This is power versus power, which is my favorite kind of dunks, if I'm being honest, too. A lot of honesty here being shared by me. I
love the Rain Man.
All right, Sean Kemp moves on.
I love the Rain.
That hurts me though, just so you know.
I'm gonna go with the Rain. Chocolate Thunder. T-Mac versus Daryl Dawkins. Chocolate Thunder.
I think T-Mac was kind of overshadowed by his I can't even talk. Overshadowed. That's the word. by his own cousin. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna go with you on this one. And T-Mac, his game was way more about scoring, totally not really about dunking it.
Jordan
Wow.
versus Clyde.
This feels like this was supposed to happen.
I kind of eke towards Clyde.
I mean, in this rivalry, Clyde needs something, I guess.
Yeah. Throw me
I love Clyde, but Clyde's one of those guys who sadly came up in the Jordan era, and so that took a lot away from him.
I get a lot of crap for him.
Man, I think these are two very similar type dunkers too. You know what? I'm gonna go Jordan just because I feel like he has more iconic in-game dunks. But I'm not mad at either one going on. But I think Jordan ekes it out.
We'll go with Jordan, so he doesn't unfriend us, even though he wasn't our friend. This is the Rain Man. As much as I kept on saying Daryl Dawkins versus Sean Kemp, it's
Daryl Dawkins kind of led the way for the Rain Man.
The Rain Man did it though.
But the Rain Man is moving on, is reigning supreme here.
Jordan versus Jeez. Do we
again
keep on doing finals repeats?
Again, this is great. This is a finals. This is older one's 90s finals showdowns. I'm going Rain Man in this one though.
I was thinking the same thing because if I'm thinking just dunk, it's the Rain Man. All right, now we're into round 2. Now it's Zach LaVine.
Yeah, I still think it's Aaron Gordon. I think he put him twice, but
did I?
No, that might be Zach LaVine. No, he played for the Timberwolves. I bet it's his Timberwolves jersey. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I could have swore he was. I looked up Zach LaVine and I was trying to find dunks, and I was like, that kind of looks like him. So LaVine versus Russell Westbrook. LaVine.
We're going for dunking. It's LaVine for sure.
Larry Johnson versus Isaiah Ryder. I did it to you.
Oh, I don't know why you think this is hard for me.
Isaiah Ryder, though.
Isaiah Ryder was great. East Bay Funk dunk, incredible. Don't get me wrong. In-game dunker, though, LJ, all the way. All the way for me. It's not even close. Again, though, I am also a Hornets fan, so you got to take that in.
I'll let it go.
Thank you. Thank you for being my Elsa in this and letting it go.
The Doctor versus Baron Davis. You cannot go against the Doctor.
No, but I want to give Baron Davis his flowers. One of my favorite small guard dunkers of all time.
Give him the flowers, but it's
Dr. J. Yeah.
Nate Robinson versus the guy that I threw in there because I really enjoyed watching him play with the Celtics and a dunker and an NBA Jam legend in D Brown.
Wow, are you sure this is random? This feels like this was done on purpose.
No, it was not.
Just throw in Spud Webb randomly as a third here. Shout out to Nate, who's struggling with some health stuff right now. I hope everything goes fine there because it seems like a cool dude. I have a lot of love for D Brown though, so I'm going D Brown on this.
Okay. I don't think he gets enough love.
He does not. Here we go.
LeBron versus Dwight Howard.
All right. Dwight could throw it down, definitely, but I think this is LeBron all the way on this. Andrew will talk. He doesn't like LeBron. So
I said that I don't like LeBron.
You just think he gets too much hype for who he is. Yeah. I get it.
I don't. You get sick of hearing him.
Yeah.
Hearing about him.
I mean, that's why you're sick of anything Dallas Mavericks related because of where you're at.
I went from loving Dirk Nowitzki to whenever I hear the name Dirk, I just want to punch something.
It's like when you first heard that Creed song, you're like, this is a good song. And then by the 100th time you heard that Creed song, you're like, I'm done with Creed.
Yeah, it's like living in Western New York and have to hear about the Bills.
Yeah.
But only when they're good. Only when they're good. When they're bad, nobody wants to talk about it.
Yeah. All right. So we got Larry Nance
Senior.
Senior.
We gotta say senior.
Senior versus one of my favorite dunkers, Spud Webb. The shortest dunker, and is Nate Robinson probably is either his same height or a little
I
shorter.
think Dave Robinson's an inch shorter.
Yeah, he might be. But the first small dunker, I would dare say, was Spud Webb.
Yes. And I collected its cards just because he was.
Yeah. I love that slam dunk. So, my heart and soul is going to say Spud Webb, but I'm not mad at either one of these. Moving on.
I think I'm going to go with Larry Nance.
You gave me Larry Johnson. I will give you Larry Nance. And also, I'm not mad at it because I like Larry Nance.
A Larry for a Larry. Okay.
That's right.
Nate Robinson is 5'9", and I think Spud Webb, let me just be 100%.
He's under 5'9".
Was 5'7".
Yeah. I still remember one of the first things I did when I discovered
5'6".
and I think it was NBA Live that I could like mess with players' abilities. I made it where Muggsy Bogues could throw it down, and it was the greatest day of my life.
DeAndre Jordan and Kobe.
All right. I'm going to give DeAndre his flowers real quick because we're both going to agree Kobe's moving on here. Again, him and Blake Griffin really made that Clippers team fun to watch because they would both out of nowhere throw down a dunk you didn't think they could do, that anybody could do. So I'll go ahead and say that. Incredible slam dunk guy, but it's Kobe all the way.
Definitely Kobe. Vince Carter versus Gerald Green. Gerald Green did wonderful for only having 9.5 fingers. And I still say he was robbed in the dunk. This is my flowers for Gerald Green.
There you go.
Still say he was robbed because that was awesome when he blew out the candle on that cupcake in the slam dunk competition.
Yes, that ruled. Yes, that was so cool.
But Air Canada all the way on this one.
Yeah, I mean, one of the most iconic slam dunk guys ever, Vince Carter. He's got to move on. He literally dunked over a guy who was 7'4" or something like that. So
Levine and
Grandmama.
Yep.
I can't vote here because you know who I'm going to vote for. So
I'm going with Grandmama. I really like
that's what I'm talking about.
The Doctor versus D Brown. I love you, D Brown, but
it's the Doctor. Yeah, the Doctor's making.
I get so much crap for whatever I imagine anybody that. Okay, so let me put it this way: if I talk about basketball at work, it has to be a player that's played from 1996 and on.
Yeah.
If I talk about anybody else before that, it's like it just doesn't matter.
Dr. J has one of my favorite. To me, one of the most iconic layups of all time, where he's literally under the basket and still gets it to go in when he takes off. It's incredible.
I still remember the big thing, and I didn't really know who Dr. J was, but I knew who Kareem was, obviously being a Celtics fan and my father being a Lakers fan. And pay-per-view, I want to say late 80s, early 90s, did Let's Settle the Argument, who is better, Kareem versus Dr. J. And they're not in their primes anymore.
Right. Oh, didn't they have like a one-on-one thing?
Yeah. My dad was so hyped for this that I had to sit down and watch it. But they did it like a boxing or wrestling matches. It was a bunch of other little one-on-ones.
Yeah.
Before they even got to that. So that was the first time I ever seen Rick Barry.
Oh,
I can't even tell you anybody else that was in that little one-on-one thing, but I remember
that's got to be on YouTube somewhere, right?
I think so.
That might be something we visit in the future.
But I remember Rick Barry because I saw him shooting the free throws, which if you've ever seen Rick Barry shoot free throws or you don't know him,
it's granny style.
It's granny style underhand. And I was like, what is he doing? And he was nailing them.
Yes.
It was crazy.
All right. So we got LeBron
and Larry Nance Sr.
taking on Larry Nance. As much as I think Larry Nance is a great dunker, I think it's LeBron. Yeah.
It's hard for me to say that, but
it is LeBron. I'll say it for you. Now, this is a matchup right here.
This is a matchup, but I
It's
think
Kobe taking on Vince.
Kobe, yep. But if we're looking at pure dunks,
It's Vince. It's Vince Carter.
If
Yeah.
we're talking player, obviously Kobe.
Agreed completely.
It's the doctor.
All right. I love you, Larry Johnson. Again, my top 5 favorite, my personal top 5 favorite players of all time. Larry Johnson makes that list, but it is the Dr. J.
It's the doctor.
Yeah.
LeBron versus Vince Carter, talking purely dunks. I give it to Vince Carter.
Agreed completely here. LeBron, an incredible, powerful dunker, but Vince Carter literally brought the dunk, in my opinion, back to the forefront. So I'm going Vince Carter here.
So we got the man that brought the slam dunk back.
Here we go.
And that made it like cool. In
Yeah.
the Doctor versus Vince Carter.
This is awesome. First of all, this is
Okay.
awesome.
My head hurts so badly.
This is incredible.
Ah,
This is incredible.
the-
I love Dr. J does not get the love that he deserves nowadays
no.
for how he literally made, like you were saying, made this slam dunk just so cool.
He was the ABA.
I mean, he was Michael Jordan's favorite player. You know, he was like,
Shaq's.
yeah, he was so many of our guys' favorite player. He was sort of influential in how, like Steph Curry's influential today in how he plays.
Yeah.
I would argue Dr. J was that during his time, influencing players after him. So I'm not going to take anything away from Dr. J, but I'm going to go Vince Carter here.
I want to say Dr. J.
I get it. I do.
I mean, like Dr. J, even though we're talking basketball, we're talking dunking, but mostly NBA, obviously.
Yes.
Dr. J was the ABA.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this guy was the ABA. Vince Carter, though, coming from somebody that lives so close to Toronto, made the Raptors relevant.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they did have players before, don't get me wrong, with Marcus Camby and Damon Stoudemire, but they weren't the superstar.
They were not must-see television.
Yes.
Vince Carter made the must-see television.
And Dr. J was must-see television, but Dr. J wasn't really helping out the NBA in the 80s with this stuff per se, like Magic and Bird, because it was more Magic and Bird than Dr. J. I'll give it to Vince.
Vince Carter, moving on.
I talked myself into Vince.
I still think we got a heck of a matchup here for the finals.
This
This is a finals right here. We got Sean Kemp taking on Vince Carter to decide who's the best slam dunker of all time. This is what I'm talking about. This is a matchup right here.
I'm going with Vince. As much
I
as I love the Rain Man, I gotta go with Vince.
I love you, Sean Kemp. You are incredible. In the 90s, you're the reason that the Sonics were like my second favorite team. I really love the Sonics after the Hornets. They were my second pick on NBA Jam. If I didn't pick the Hornets, it was them. But I'm with you, and I'm not mad at this because he went to Carolina. Vince Carter, an artist when it comes to the slam dunk, an artist. So I'm totally fine with this. I am happy with this. I'm happy to announce, Vince Carter, you are the slam dunk all-time champion. And we've done it. We've done it, ladies and gentlemen.
Vince Carter, there you are at the center.
I want to watch some Carter highlights after this. Again, I wanted to bring this up real quick just to appease those who are younger than us who listen to our show. First of all, thank you.
Yeah.
Second of all, of today's players, current players, who do you think after their career is done would have a chance to be added to this tournament. I want to go Anthony Edwards, I think, for sure.
Yeah, I got a lot of pushback because Anthony Edwards wasn't on here, and I probably could have put him on here instead of Harold Miner, but I just felt like putting it.
He's just too young. It's too soon.
What was the other one I got? Derek Jones Jr.
Yeah, he's very good. I would go. I think Anthony Edwards is probably my favorite current dunker, if I'm being honest, just when it comes to slam dunks. John Morant, when he actually plays, would be up there.
So much crap, but I also work with a Memphis Grizzly fan.
Oh, yeah. So there you go. Yeah. But I mean, I understand them giving you crap because they're really good slam dunk guys. So,
They are, but I think we didn't have a current player. Oh, well, other than LeBron, but
yeah, but he's literally almost 40. So.
yeah, I mean, we went with most of the time when we do this stuff, it's retired players.
Yeah.
Anything like that. Like when we did wrestling, I don't think we really had too many current, if we even had current.
Yeah, this is a nostalgia podcast in the first place when it comes to sports. So I'm not mad at this. I just wanted to give those current guys who I think if we did this 5 years from now, they would probably put on this list to be on here.
I think there's still dunks, but I don't think there's dunks like in the 80s and 90s and
I think Anthony Edwards does dunks like that though.
No, but I'm saying, but it's not as prominent. Another guy that I remembered I kind of wanted to put on here was Ricky Davis. I remember him.
Oh yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah, for sure. But all right, there it is. There's our Vince Carter is our champion here. Who's your champion? When you're thinking of guys who could throw it down, five slam and jammer, who would you pick? Who would you want to be your king of the ring when it comes to this?
King of the dunk.
King of the dunk. King of the squared what's a squared circle?
It's more of a rectangle, isn't it?
Yeah, it most certainly is.
But thank you for listening. Check us out, YouTube, Facebook, any of those, or wherever you get your podcast. And with that being said, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
And we're just heating up.